The best thing that's ever happened to me was my husband.
Kellie Pickler recently suffered an unbelievable tragedy. It involves the passing of her husband, but one horrible rumor has started to circulate. Anonymous sources are now making crazy claims that Kellie is under investigation. But is there any possible truth to this shocking rumor? The rumor about Kellie's alleged involvement is not only insane, it's also horribly disrespectful to accuse Kellie of something like this during an unspeakable time in her life. Still, it hasn't stopped these sources from claiming that Kellie was somehow involved in her husband's passing. None of these claims have been proven, but according to unnamed sources, there are weird circumstances about the incident that might suggest Kellie was involved. Her late husband used a weapon to end his life, and it's alleged that Kellie told authorities that she did not hear the loud weapon go off. Allegedly, Kellie also told law enforcement that she was taking a nap in the middle of the day, and Kellie was reportedly napping at the same time that the terrible incident happened. Because there's no public funeral that we know of, and since Kellie has not come forward with a public statement about her private tragedy, the so-called sources began to spread vicious rumors, and what they are alleging is absolutely unbelievable. One insane question got posted on the Celeb Wives of Nashville Reddit. The caption was, "Genuinely curious question," and the user posted the question under the Reddit flare for all issues involving Nashville gossip. The poster asked, "Why isn't anyone talking about the KP investigation? I'm just curious, but maybe I missed something." Some commenters didn't even know what KP stood for, but one commenter was not having it. They blasted the poster who asked the question, and this commenter gave them a very harsh answer. They answered in part, "You want to talk about her being under investigation, lying to police, or wanting a divorce?" The commenter told the poster that they should provide sources that outline everything suggesting Kellie was definitely involved. That way, the commenter said a discussion could be had. But in this situation, the commenter replied that this was just gossip. Other commenters jumped in to accuse the poster of stirring up rumors. One person wrote in part, "Why would you troll like this? Stirring up rumors and starting something that doesn't need to be started. Things like this only cause more pain for those left behind. Shame on you." While other commenters seemed to indicate where these horrible allegations about Kellie were coming from. Apparently, there's a Kellie Pickler themed Facebook group, and this Facebook group allegedly started the rumors about Kellie. The Celeb Wives of Nashville Reddit had more harsh words for this Facebook group. One commenter described the Facebook group this way. In part, they wrote, "I can't imagine a better concentration of people unable to critically think, blindly believing a single individual, or failing to understand what evidence means." Kellie was recently photographed for the first time in 3 months, but it wasn't like she wasn't out and about in Nashville. The paparazzi caught her just outside her multi-million-dollar home. Kellie was greeting friends who had come to pay her a visit. While Kellie looked happy to see them, the sadness and exhaustion appeared to be etched out on her face. Kellie wore no makeup. Her hair was pulled away from her face, and she was dressed casually in a red t-shirt with an odd logo for springtime in Nashville. The red t-shirt had a Santa cartoon on it with the words, "Santa's Pub." Although there are many shocking details surrounding the passing of Kellie's husband, Kyle Jacobs, at this moment, it is true that Kellie has not spoken to fans or the media about the tragedy. Kellie's social media accounts have also been inactive for months. And just a few weeks after Kyle took his own life, the announcement was made that Kellie was leaving her role at SiriusXM. Shockingly, Kyle appeared to be celebrating a big moment in his career only a day before he passed. Kyle was a well-known and talented songwriter in Nashville. He had recently worked on an album called Hey World by Lee Brice. Kyle did so much on Lee's record. He served as a producer, he also played acoustic guitar, and he even provided background vocals. On February 16th, 2023, Kyle had a good reason to celebrate. He had found out that Lee's record had just gone certified platinum. The last thing Kyle posted on Instagram seems like a haunting message now. He wrote about Lee's album going platinum, and Kyle called that sweet. Kyle also gave a touching shout out to everyone who worked on Lee's album. He called them an amazing crew of incredibly talented peeps. Kyle revealed he was deeply honored to be a creative part of it. Unbelievably, Kyle also mentioned his faith when he said, "Thank you, Jesus." Kellie met Kyle in 2008, and they happily dated for 2.5 years. In June 2010, Kyle proposed. They had planned an intimate wedding ceremony on a private Caribbean island. And Kellie said this about her wedding day: "Someone just called me Miss Jacobs. Sounds nice." Kellie could never have predicted this tragedy, and it's strange that she even got photographed recently outside her home in Nashville, because sources close to Kellie have revealed that she's not living in that house right now. Kellie doesn't need to explain why she's not living there at the moment. She must be too distraught to return home this soon after Kyle's tragic passing. But one shocking display made people think Kellie is trying to move on. House painters have been photographed coming and going into the house, and sources say these workmen are painting the room where Kyle took his life. If any anonymous source wants to accuse Kellie of being involved in this tragedy, they should be made aware of a shocking report that went public, and it proves that Kyle was responsible for his own passing. On May 8th, 2023, the Office of the Medical Examiner in Davidson County released this report. It detailed an official analysis completed by the medical examiner on February 18th, 2023. That was the day after Kyle's unfortunate passing. The analysis proved that Kyle passed away because of a self-inflicted wound. Kyle was just 49 years old when he passed. Shockingly, it is true that Kellie and her assistant were in the house when this tragedy occurred on February 17th. The Metro Nashville Police Department also released a chilling statement on the day the incident happened. Their statement read, in part, "Mr. Jacobs' wife, Kellie Pickler, reported that she awoke a short time earlier, did not see her husband, and began looking for him. After she and her personal assistant were unable able to open the door to the upstairs bedroom/office, the assistant telephoned 911. So Kellie was in fact taking a nap, but since Kyle had locked the door to the bedroom, there was obviously no way that Kellie could have been involved in this tragedy. The medical examiner completed a toxicology report on Kyle. This is often done to check for substances in a person's body, but no substances were found in Kyle's system before he passed, although the report did mention serious issues that had been affecting Kyle for much of his adult life. According to what the medical examiner knew or had been told about Kyle's medical history, he had a history of pseudo-seizure. That is similar to an epileptic seizure, but it's also caused by low blood sugar or other medical conditions. Kyle also suffered from bleeding in his stomach and intestines. He had elevated liver enzymes in his body, and that unfortunately indicated that Kyle had a chronic drinking problem. We should remember how talented Kyle was. He wrote so many hit songs, including More Than a Memory for Garth Brooks. Kellie and Kyle even starred in an unbelievable reality show together. The show was called I Love Kellie Pickler, and it ran for 3 seasons on the CMT network. There is no doubt that Kellie and Kyle loved each other, and I think the rumors about Kellie being under investigation is not only false, it's awful, and the source who made up this lie should be ashamed. But what do you guys think? Have you listened to the platinum-selling album by Lee Brice that Kyle worked on? How do you think Kellie will recover from this tragedy?